Hey all. Hey, let's do something a little bit more ambitious, eh? Let's try Achilles' Last Stand. This would be a guitar part to go all the way through it, not with the fills over the top and the overdub stuff, because I think the live versions, which are great, by the way. In fact, that's one of the ones I think got better as time went on. And some of the versions from 1980 are my favorite versions. But this would be minus all the overdubs and stuff, because I think if you can get this, you should be able to do the soloing and the fills stuff. That should come to you, because this is the harder part, especially the little, that little lick is the hardest thing in it. But let's go through and talk about some of the bedrock guitar parts of it. So it starts with this little thing. And it starts like that. So the way to think of that intro is it's like an F sharp minor with the B and E strings open, and then this sort of E minor chord with the D at the 4th fret. It's that Pink Floyd-y kind of "Welcome my son, welcome to the machine." It's that "Welcome to the Machine" chord. So this one. And if you watch the Nebworth clip, and I think there's in Seattle '77, that video you can also see. But thumb over the top on that F sharp note. Because I suppose, well, you could do a sloppy, awkward version of it like that. But this is the way Jimmy does it, so this is the way I'm going to do it. So thumb on 2 on the low E. A and D at 4. G at 2, so you get and then so those 4 G at B at 3, then 2 0 on the high E. 2 0 on E, 3 0 on B, and then open G string. And then do the same picking pattern with this shape. 2 on the A, 4 on the D. And you still got to do this at the high end of it. And then back to the other one. Easy to do it sloppy, hard to do it clean. Sounds like when it gets to the end of it, it's that F sharp one, and it ends with B at the 3rd fret to an open E string on that F sharp, and then after bottom goes. This is a little lick that comes back a lot. Because that intro thing only is the intro and the outro. It never comes back again. So at least you don't have to do it over and over again. This one you do have to do over and over again. It's that's G, B, and E. G, 11, 10 on B, 9 on high E. Just those 3 strings. And then this little lick, I think, is the hardest thing in the song. Right? Jeez. Like that. So, D at 7. Seven. 7, 8, 9. D9, A7, low E string. Into this, G, B, and E at 7, and then back again. And in the live ones he does. You can hear him do that. Suspend the B string up one. And then into the. That's when it was an April morning. So those same two chords, the low E string, and then into the, I call it the Pete Townsend D chord, low E. That's the high end of it bar, D chord. G and B at 7, high E at 5. Gotta let them ring. And if you watch the live ones, Jimmy does the, instead of plucking it like that, he does with his thumb so he can do some grand gesture with his hand or with his arm. And then, hard to do it sitting in a chair, but. Shapes. Oh, to touch the dream, you know. And then it goes back to. Does that thing again. And then. South and north, whatever, right? That's just a D. You sort of pluck through the G and the B and then end on the high E. Your E should be in tune. E at last, return again, and then you're into. Jimmy does it like that. That's just D and G strings. And you gotta be careful not to get the B in there, but. 9, 7, 8, 9, 7, 9, 7, 9, 7, 9. There's some stuttering in there. Listen for yourself and get that rhythm. And then you're into the little climb. This is the thing that you gotta do over and over. Lots of ways to finger it, but this is the way I'm gonna do it. G4, D5. G5, D7. G7, D9. 9G, 10D. The last one of that first half is G11, D12. You kind of slide up. And then the second half is kind of easier. It goes 8 on B, 9 on G, 10 B, 11 G, B and G both at 12, B 13, G 14, and then up 2 frets, 15, 16. So. Again, lots of ways to finger it. That's the way I'm doing it. So you got to learn that little run because it's all over the thing. And then back into the. And then I think there's more. And then you're back into another one of these. And then it goes into a guitar solo, right? But underneath, do 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 do. Right during that part, the other guitar is doing it. It's doing that underneath that solo. And this is the one where this is the part like from the live versions of Dazed and Confused. You'll hear it on the song. I mean, it's the same movie. When they go into the "If you're going to San Francisco," this he reused that little lick in this. It's the same little thing. So D. D at 2, 4, 5, 7, 5. Right. It's all on the D string and the high E and B. Goes into this chord, it's a C something. A at 2, B at 3, and then and on the high E you want to be at start at 2. You want that stuff going on the high E. Now I'm not doing this exact, I'm just doing like what I would do in a live version. And then I think it goes to do, do. And then back to it. So that little bit there, again, you're going to have to learn these parts and then memorize the structure of the song. I'm just giving you the building blocks of it. This part I do as so it's G at 9, 8 on B, 7 on high E. So I do the second one is G, B, and E all at 7. And then it stops, and then so this one is G at 9, B and E at 8, and then goes back to all three of them at 7. We'll say it doesn't do that, it just goes. And then I think it goes back to another. Whoa. That little thing, right? So you're back to another verse. It'll come back to, I think. Now there's one part during the soloing, it sounds like. It does a little slight variation of it, but I can't tell, I honestly can't tell in the mix because there's a dozen guitars going on. Because the bass is definitely doing it. But I think Jimmy's still doing the same thing he did before. This is a hard thing to do. That one's hard to do. But then the next time it comes through and does this little part, it doesn't do. It does. So it's slightly different, but it's the same chord shapes. He just adds a couple more on the end of each one. You might be back to another. But there's one other part. The part that goes. You know that part when Glenn's doing that. Mighty arms of Atlas, hold heavens from. I think this is how I'm doing that part. That same thing. As if you're doing those first two chords at the beginning. Right? It's that same on and off thing that we just did. The second one I do as a D up here, then a D here. It would be. But you're only doing the little bits of those chords. Suspend the B. That's what he's doing. That part, what on the lead part. That's what he's doing underneath that. And then. Is there anything more? Well, I mean, there's the end, and it goes back into it. He ends it like that, which is kind of a sloppy. I don't know. I'm not pleased with the way he ended it on the live versions, but do that same intro leg. Just like a B to an E minor. That's a 20-minute version of a guitar part to go underneath it. Now, I'm pretty sure that's all the parts to it. You got to string them together and remember and memorize which part comes in which. There's a lot of this. Underneath the guitar soloing. Do 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 do. That part. You know, that part. But again, you got to listen to it, because I know people are going to complain you didn't run through it all, because I'm not going to run it all the way through from start to finish. For one, I posted a play along version of it, and it was blocked in like 30 seconds. So I'm not going to bother going through the whole thing. I'm assuming this one will go up, but I have no idea. It might recognize it, and it might block this one for all I know. But that's this will give you a little bit of a head start on stringing it all together and coming up with a guitar part that'll go all the way through. It's almost kind of easier to play the live version that has the soloing, because it's in a way it's a lot less work doing it the way, say, Jimmy would have done it at like Nebworth, because you don't have to do a lot of these quick chord changes. You know, you just be soloing over the top. It's kind of easier that way. But hopefully this gives you a head start. Good luck.